All right, so we've got 6 spots on the 40 here to open up for these new veterans. We've signed Gallen, Heel, Albies, Candelario, Peterson, Taylor Ward. And some of the guys I want to trade away here, Brett Beatty, Austin Martin, I'm definitely going to trade away. Alan Roden, I'm thinking about. I don't really know if he's necessarily going to be like a major league fixture. He doesn't have, great power, doesn't have a great eye. He's just a sort of useful corner outfield utility type guy. But again, as I say so often in OOTP, there's a lot of corner outfielders you can plug in. So the first guy we're going to get rid of is Hunter Harvey because he's the guy we've been getting a bunch of trade offers for. He's fragile and he's on some money. His contract ends next season, so this is a good time to trade him. We'll look at just prospects because we've been getting some prospects. It says nobody. That's interesting. Makes me want to go back and look at some of the offers that we've gotten. But let's see if there's any interesting prospects here. So the answer is most definitely no. So we're already retaining 100. All right, 1 second. All right, so I kind of went back and forth on which deal to take. It's a lot of 2.5 star prospects from across the league. I think the best player on offer was and there were some decent players available, some borderline major leaguers available. Best player available was probably Alex Ramirez from the San Diego Padres, but if that power wasn't a 30, I probably would have taken him. He's got excellent fielding and excellent speed. But we're going to go with this offer here at the top from the Baltimore Orioles. We're going to take Dylan Ray, who's a starting pitcher I really like. I like the control. I like the velocity, over the top arm angle, 5 pitch mix, great fastball. Not great stats, but he's been up to AAA. He's 25. And then we're also going to add in, it looks like he's in Reno, AAA. Gavin Cancello, you saw. There we go. Here, this guy's not that good. We'll just add this guy in. So it'll be Hunter Harvey, this random prospect, and this random prospect. For these two prospects, Gavin Cancello, decent first baseman, decent speed, decent fielder, and Dylan Ray, good control, good velocity, 5 pitch mix. Let's see, Conticello, I think he can be in Double A. He's 23, yeah, Double A is fine. And Dylan Ray is Triple A. That's fine with Dylan Ray being Triple A. All right, and next we're going to try to move on from Brett Beatty. I might package Beatty and Austin Martin together if there's another team who's desperate for infield help out there. Beatty, we do get some prospects for Brett Beatty. Nice. This is a different Isaac Pacheco, I think. I don't think it's the good one. Uh, well, he might be good, but it's not the one you're thinking of. It's not the one from Tampa. Joe Redfield. This guy's decent. Jerson Alejandro struggles with control a little bit. Dax Kilby. All right, the Yankees are offering us some decent younger prospects, which is nice to see for Brett Beatty. They are struggling at the third base position in real life. Maybe they are still at this stage of the save. So we'll go with Alejandro and Kilby. It's good seeing a couple 20-year-old prospects offered here by the Yankees. It's kind of hard to find young prospects and trades in this game, to be honest with you. You don't see that often. It's usually guys, up by 23, 24. Which, of course, that's young, but we're talking about young by prospect standards. It really is hard to find, 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old prospects on offer. But, the AI has no problem asking for that all the time in every trade. Oh, yeah, will you give us a 19-year-old prospect? No. We don't know how good he is or isn't yet. No, we're not going to give you a 19-year-old prospect. And it looks like they want us to add in somebody pretty decent. Tanner Hall is not that good. 92 miles an hour. I'm kind of willing to trade him away to get to improve our farm system as much as I think we're probably about to. Yeah, Dylan Kestad's a little too good, even if he is only listed as a 2 star. I'm a lot more comfortable giving away Hall, so that's what we'll do. For Dax Kilby, who hopefully will be a really good infielder one day, and Jerson Alejandro, who has a great fastball and a great slider. And we trade away our home run leader, Brett Beatty. Did the Mets sign Jazz Chisholm? That's great. That is funny. Wonder if that would happen in real life as you see our signing of Taylor Ward. Das Kilby in high A. I like that. And then Justin Alejandro in triple A. That seems a little ridiculous. I think he should also be in high A. So we've opened up 2 spots on the 40-man now. And Still lots of work to do. 4 spots left to open up. Alan Roden was the next guy I was thinking about dealing, but Austin Martin is the guy that I really want to deal. Had a 1 WAR season last year. Apologies for the pop-up on the bottom of the screen. Little Logic Pro logo. I am also a musician, so. Austin Martin, what can we get for you? Hudson White, decent catcher. And Andy Rodriguez is a really nice reliever. The Rays have some decent players here. Cooper Kinney as well. All right, yeah. This looks like a steal to me. I wish Brock Jones didn't have that 35 avoid Ks. He'd be a really good center fielder as well. But we'll gladly do. Was it Darren Tucson? No, it was Andy Rodriguez and Cooper Kinney is the deal I wanted. Cooper Kinney is on Durham, so Andy Rodriguez, and then go to Durham and find Cooper Kinney. And they are going to make that deal straight up. Austin Martin for Andy Rodriguez and Cooper Kinney. That's what I was thinking. You can make a decent trade for a couple prospects for a passable major league guy, especially somebody under 30 with team control like this. He didn't even have a positive OPS plus. We were able to get 2 pretty decent prospects for him, including a guy in Cooper Kinney who could put up a positive OPS plus in the majors one day. So, like that trade a lot. Andy Rodriguez, absolutely, he can be in AAA unless the bullpen ends up way too crowded, but we'll sort that out when we need to. Cooper Kinney in AA. He crushed AAA last year. Let's have him in AAA. Let's see if that helps him develop maybe. Better coaching. And that's another spot off the 40-man, so we've got 3 more spots to clear up. And I'll tell you what, I'll trade Alan Roden because I just don't think he's quite at the level of a lot of the other corner outfielders that are either in our system and that we're going to be able to bring in. Let's sim a day so we can get more trade offers. And now we'll shop Alan Roden, and maybe at some point I'll look for a major league piece because nobody wants to trade prospects for Alan Roden. I mean, I could retain 100%. I hope, but that's only going to last a year. It's only going to be $750K, so that doesn't work. Let's see if somebody wants to trade a major league player for Alan Roden. If there's a little bit of a salary dump, maybe we can take on. I know that I'm supposed to be clearing spots on the 40, but let's just see. All right, so I guess we're just going to send Alan Roden down because none of these guys really pique my interest. Dominic Canzone, like, nah. No thanks. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. So Alan Roden, I guess we're just going to keep on the roster for now, maybe even waive in DFA to get him off the roster. Let's do Robert Gasser. Even though he is a lefty, it's just a 7.44 ERA. That does not pay the bills. I don't know if anyone's going to want him. We do get the Orioles offer us something. Not perfect. Not anything that I really am looking for. So let's do 100% retain. And Abel Mercedes, this is a good relief pitcher. He's only got 25 control, but that's because he does 100 miles an hour at a 3/4 arm angle. So yeah, we'll take a chance on him. Don't mind that at all for Robert Gasser. That might be an improvement. Even if Robert Gasser had a promising repertoire, it certainly didn't show in a Twins uniform. So Abel Mercedes is going to get a shot, and we'll start him in AAA like that. So I'm going to put Zach Gallen, Luis Heel on the roster. We got rid of a couple infielders, so Ozzy Albies and Yammer Candelario will come onto the roster. Got a lot of infielders here. Brooksley, Candelario, Collins. Collins was okay. Yeah, he's good enough to stay, I'd say. Ozzy Albies would definitely be the guy who you'd think would be a backup player. Chang is a bit better of a defender than Albies. I think Arias kind of becomes the odd man out, but it's not necessarily a guy that I want to waive in DFA. We just signed him. It was only a minor league free agent signing, so you know what? At the end of the day, it's appropriate to waive in DFA him. He wasn't even signed to a major league contract. I guess I was a little generous to put him on the 40. But that clears a spot for Jock Peterson. And now Alan Roden's just going to get waived in DFA'd. And that one more spot opens up for Taylor Ward. And we do have 29 guys right now, but we'll work that out after spring training. And who do we have left sitting here in free agency that we've offered to? Nobody. We still have 20 million. And I'm noticing a pretty distinct lack of a reliever, so I think that's next on the ledger here. Let's ask our new manager, Wayne Masters, for the lineup and depth chart. And who did we have forced there? We had somebody forced second, and they're gone. I guess he just overwrote whatever we wanted and put in his own lineup. It doesn't look too bad to me. Jose Miranda, that's somebody that I don't necessarily think is going to make the major league team. He had an okay year last year. That might be somebody that we look to deal. We have Pasquantino, and then we have Candelario at first base here. We don't really need Jose Miranda. I kind of think that's the next guy that we deal away. Maybe try to get some major league bullpen help. Maybe package him with like a Dustin May. That'd be an interesting deal to try to shop around. The only thing that I like about Dustin May, I don't really like the ERAs at all. Obviously, his stats are what I don't like. I like the stamina. I like the pitch mix and the stamina. He can just give us innings out of the bullpen. I honestly, spoiler alert, don't exactly expect us to be a World Series contender or even make the playoffs next year. So having a guy in the bullpen who can eat innings is useful. We also have Cam Schlittler who can do that, though. Yeah, I think Dustin May is actually, unfortunately, dragging down Miranda's value in the trade offers. So let's just do Miranda. Kind of sad, but let's see. Wow, Brian Bayo. Nah, never mind. Not like Brian Bayo in real life. He's got the velocity. That's about it. 4.99 ERA. Christian Walker. Luis Severino on 22 million. I'll pass. Like Matisaka Yoshida might. Like that's not like an outfielder that we need. JP France. I'm really only impressed by the pure volume of pitches, of course. Yeah. Okay. Nothing. So I guess we're just gonna have to figure something out with Miranda. You see the lineup right now. Don't hate it. Emmanuel Rodriguez with that great eye in the two hole. Pasquantino, Ward, Wallner. It's not an awful middle of the lineup. Not really psyched about the bottom of the order, but let's see if anybody can provide cover. I don't really like. Okay, yeah. See, here's the thing. He's forced into center field. Wallner is forced in right field. Let's just get these guys out of here because I want to see if Jock Peterson or yes Nixon Garcia can get some starting time. And we also, of course, we have to account for Walker Jenkins. All he did was put Keishel leadoff in center field and move Rodriguez out of the lineup. Okay, that's not what I wanted him to do at all. Yeah, I don't know how none of these three guys are starting. I want all three of these guys in the lineup. Yeah, it's just because Miranda is at first. I don't want Miranda on the team if he's gonna insist that much that he be here. Like I like him as depth, but him being forced at first base is crazy. I'm gonna force Pasquantino to first base. Strategy: you are the first baseman, and I'm gonna force Taylor Ward to DH, and hopefully that puts either Rodriguez or Garcia in the lineup because that's all I want. I understand wanting to have Keishel in center field though. That makes sense. He's probably the best defensive center fielder we have. Let's see what happens now. Okay, good. And they have Garcia in left and hitting first. I like that a lot more. Keishel, Garcia, Pasquantino, Ward, Wallner, Collins, Chang, Lee, Wells. Okay, yeah, I like that lineup a lot more. I'm not I'm not psyched with that lineup, but I don't hate it. That's mainly because I'm just not a big Matt Wallner guy. I'm willing to give him another shot, especially with that gap power and the fact that the team is where we are. But I'm gonna probably have a pretty quick trigger. Maybe not with the trade. I am a little interested if he has a minor league option because you think of him as like being the cleanup hitter on the team. So you don't really think of him as being somebody we can send down, but I'd be willing to think about it. He's a 198 hitter, man. Yankees claim Luis Urias. That's a little depressing. Wait, let's look for a reliever. We have some room for a reliever. Pitchers on the waiver wire. Wow, this guy's not bad. I'll pick this guy up. This guy's got a lot of pitches. Claim Blake Walston off waivers. Decent velo, but I like the 6 pitches and the good fastball, good slider, good cutter. Love looking at the closer category. No, never mind, nothing. I was gonna say there's usually good guys who could be really good trade pieces at the deadline, but it looks like all the good starters, all the good pitchers left in free agency rather are starters. Nick Martinez doesn't really have a good pitch. Good intangibles, no really great number 1 pitch. Looked at Alcantara. 1.8 million. I mean, it is kind of sad what happened to him, but 1.8 million with the amount of money we have, I'm willing to think about it. I'm willing to offer it. Chris Bassett. It's just kind of brutal. He's 37. Yeah, he's kind of over the hill. Maybe a couple years ago, I would have done that one. Michael Soroka, we can bring him back. I mean, we tried with him last year, and it was just god awful. So I'm going to stay away from it, even if he wants to sign with us. Jamison Tyone, another guy with good control. Okay, we're going to go to relievers. We're going to go to relief pitchers. Wow, Camilo Doval only wants $4 million. That's kind of nuts. It says it's extremely hard, but he's only 29. That's worth it, man. Dennis Santana, not bad either. Fly ball pitcher, only $5 million. But let's do Doval first. 3 years. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do 3 years. I don't mind that. We can trade it anyway if we suck. It doesn't matter. He's a good pitcher. And it provides us somebody in the bullpen who, honestly, I actually will probably trust. Like, really trust. Now Dennis Santana. Says the Cardinals want him, so let's give him 5.5. It says promised role closer. I'm just going to say none specified, and I'll boost that up to 6.2 million because he's going to want to roll. Yeah, he wants to be the closer. All right, let's do 6 million. I'll make you the closer. Okay. So we've got 2 guys promised to be the closer. So we've already created problems there, but you know what? It is what it is. I'd imagine, I mean, Dennis Santana's on a 1-year deal. What'll probably happen is he'll go, I want to be the closer, and then he'll just give me impetus to trade him. And you know, it's not like we're signing a 1-year contract to a reliever and not expecting to trade him. He's kind of on the block from the start, unfortunately. That is the way of the world. Danny Colomb, 37, another guy with major league experience we might be able to get a deal done for at the deadline. And Jorge Lopez wants a minor league deal and throws decently fast at the major league level. So we're gonna do Camilo Doval, Jorge Lopez, Danny Colomb, Dennis Santana, and Sandy Alcantara to add to the pitching depth. And we are going to keep going to international free agents. Luis Rios, we get Blake Walston from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he is going to, I guess he can come onto the major league roster. Mick Abel's okay, but the stats have really been brutal. It says he's the number 65 prospect. If he's the I feel like he's a leader in the locker room too. I feel like I should trade him if he's the number. I just want to clear a spot on the 40 man. Here, you know what? I'm just gonna trade Miranda for a prospect to clear a spot on the 40. We can't get anything from Miranda, so even though he's a decent player, we're just gonna waive and DFA him. I don't think that, you know, Blake Walston is even as good of a player as Miranda. Don't necessarily think he's as good of a pitcher as Miranda is a hitter, but that's not the way this works. We don't really have room for Miranda, and we have enough first basemen now. Keep in mind, Jock Peterson can play first base too, so we have plenty of depth there. Matt Wallner can play first base. We have a lot of first basemen. Taylor Ward also, I believe, can play first. Yeah, he can. Yeah, we have a ton of first base depth, so we don't need another first baseman in the form of Jose Miranda, so we'll waive and DFA him to make room. Brew Crew, Nick Mears and James Elwanger, who I do not want to trade. He looks pretty good. For this random guy, no. And Dennis Santana signs with the Cardinals instead of us, so we don't have to worry about him wanting to be the closer. Did we get any of those other starters? No. And Camilo Doval. So they all just signed somewhere else and didn't notify us. That's pretty brutal. All right, so we're just gonna go back to free agents and try again with more starters, I guess, or more relievers. Danny Colome and Sandy Alcantara are still here, but other than that, Muncy still wants 34 million. I saw him still here, and I was like, wait a minute, no, he still wants 34 mil. Lucan Baker, no. Brandon Lau almost. I like the power. Gary Sanchez. We do kind of need backup catcher, right? I was looking at backup catcher. Gary Sanchez is a former Minnesota Twin. I feel like he kind of fits on the Twins just in general. Christian Bethancourt. I kind of like Christian Bethancourt a little more in terms of his defense. I don't like the lack of an eye, though. Yasmani Grandal is very old. Tom Murphy is very good and would probably be a starter over Wells, which I don't necessarily want. Mitch Garver. I like the bat on Mitch Garver. I like the potential for like bench pop on Mitch Garver. Yoel Pozo, kind of a double play machine. Doesn't walk, swings at everything, and is slow. Nick Fortes is not an awful depth guy. Marlins legend. Also a Marlins legend, Jacob Nottingham. We're going to do Garrett. 5.5 million. Just seems like a little much, doesn't it? Grandal wants 3.4 million. You know what? Let's do it. I don't know if he's even not retired in real life, but let's do it. No, let's do Yasmani Grandal as a backup and again another guy that we might trade at the deadline. You're noticing a theme. Yona Heim, also a switch hitter, some decent power, 1.5 million. Let's do Yona Heim too, just because I like him in real life. Looks like a member of Metallica. He looks like a Metallica member from the 80s. All pitchers, all of them. Yo, thank you. Pitch ratings. It's just going to make me work for it. Huh? Go back to the bottom. Yep, it's going to go back to the bottom. I knew it. Alcantara, Heim, Colome, Grandal. We could get serious and do Jason Adam. Jason Adam is a good reliever. And after that Doval failure, I kind of want a good reliever. It sucks that we can't get a young one like Doval. I mean, Ryan Fernandez, he doesn't want any money. He's injured. But he's a really good pitcher, and he just wants a free agent contract. I mean, a minor league contract. And he's under 30, so we can take him. And then, yeah, let's try Jason Adam. And hopefully, let's offer him the closer role because we clearly don't have a closer. And let's just give him $6 million because we mean business. We want this guy. So, all right, we got Jason Adam, Yasmani Grandal, and young Ryan Fernandez all in. And now let's do international amateurs. We have 5.2 million available to spend. We have a very strong relationship with Carlos Alvarez. I'm not in love with the avoid Ks on him, even though he is the best player available, apparently. Let's go by contact potential here. Joaquin Cabrera is an incredible hitter at first base. Man, look at Alex Marroquin. This guy is nuts. We have a very strong relationship with him. Let's try Alex Marroquin, and I'm not going to mess around. I think I will just offer him everything. Because I think that this is the kind of player where we're going to get put into a bidding war, and I would like to not have to do that. So in order to forego that process, I think we'll just put all of our money into him. That's very often the smartest thing to do in these situations, and if he turns out to be anything like it looks like the player he could be, then that's going to pay dividends for us in the future, no doubt. Fun little trade I managed to cook up on the trade block here. Anthony Bender got put up by the Red Sox on the trade blocks. So we're going to give them Jose Miranda and Brett Hendrick. And they're going to retain 30% to make the money work. Anthony Bender, pretty good reliever. That will improve the bullpen most certainly. The bullpen is definitely a weakness as of right now. And we're also going to try to trade for Felix Bautista. Remember him from the Orioles save. Of course, he is on the Orioles in real life. They say they don't want anybody for him, but I think the money probably just doesn't work. Let's see, yeah, by $2 million. So we can just ask them to retain half and then start to see. Interesting. Okay, so they don't want a lot for him at all. So we can probably get this done pretty easy. Let's look at relievers because we need to clear a spot on the 40 or maybe even 2. So let's actually go. Can I see the 40-man roster? I can see the 40-man roster. Carlos Duran's okay. Mick Abel. Nick Mears was like our best reliever last year. Again, I want to give Zebby Matthews another shot. Let's see. Hold up. Yeah, Brian Baker is the guy that I want to get rid of. Maybe Brian Baker and Dustin May. I mean, Dustin May has value in that he's got that stamina, that starter stamina, but whereas Bautista's more of a one-inning reliever type guy. So I kind of have a problem with the value exchange in that way. Yeah, let's do Mick Abel. Mick Abel really isn't that good. He's also not my guy. They're not okay with it yet. So let's remove Mick Abel C. Connor Prelip is honestly okay. Cam Schlittler, nah, the 5-pitch mix, the velocity, he's pretty good. That's somebody I want to get rid of. I definitely want to give Will Warren a shot. Desan Hill is way too good for me to deal. Not giving you Garcia. Definitely not giving you that guy. All right. Let's do Brian Baker and Mick Abel. And then I also wanted to look at throwing in a catcher. One of these minor league catchers that we have. We have too many catchers in the minor leagues. We also have too many corner outfielders, it looks like. But let's do Mickey Gasper. Let's do Jonathan Morales. That's 4 players. We're just kind of dumping some guys on the Diamondbacks, let's be real. And here's Xander Sechrist. This guy's not any good. We can add him. And they'll take that. It's Brian Baker, Mick Abel, Mickey Gasper, Jonathan Morales, and Xander Sechrist. Just kind of dumping some, honestly, subpar guys for Felix Bautista and improving this bullpen. Now we have 2 spots open on the 40 for our 2 new relievers. And this bullpen looks a whole lot better. Thank you, trade block screen. Danny Colomb signs, and we've got to clear a spot off the 40, man. Do I want to risk Carlos Duran? I really like his arm. Ozuna's good. Olivar. Olivar seems a little replaceable. He also only plays left field. He hasn't played above AA. He's 25. Yeah, let's do Olivar. He's an okay player, but he could get picked up. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get picked up. Sucks to lose him for a 37-year-old reliever, but Danny Colombe isn't bad. And hopefully we're going to just straight up have a good bullpen. And that's why I'm sort of debating. Like, I look at this lineup, and I kind of like what I'm looking at. I mean, I could definitely see a situation where, Vinny and Taylor Ward both hit 30 home runs, and then Matt Wallner, even if he might hit, 180, he can still pitch in with 20, 25 bombs, and we have a pretty respectable middle of the order. And then we straight up have a good bullpen, right? If we straight up have a good bullpen. That's going to supplement what's probably going to be one of the weaker rotations in the league, unfortunately. And I'm up in the air whether or not we're going to play good defense, but we could get rid of Luke Keeschel and call up Walker Jenkins. Because Luke Keeschel doesn't really have a super plus hit tool. He's not a fantastic hitter. Hit 225, 89 OPS plus, a negative WAR player last year, but he's a good fielder, runs the bases well. Good eye, good bat to ball. He's the leadoff hitter right now. He's the best center fielder we have, definitely. But Walker Jenkins is right up behind him. And I'd rather have him be Walker Jenkins' backup, of course. But I also think we could maybe get something in a trade for Luke Keeschel because he has a lot of years left. I'm going to leave it up to spring training, though, and see who plays better in spring training. This is going to be one of those seasons where it's going to be huge to look at the spring training stats. Ricardo Olivar gets claimed by the Yankees, the Diamondbacks, and the Rangers, so he's going to be gone, unfortunately. Sucks to lose him, but I probably made a mistake putting him on the 40. That was probably a Rule 5 move. And, this is just a new player we got. Pretty good looking player on the International Complex. I will look at International Complex players in a little bit. And we gave all of our money to Morakine, and he does not want to play for us, so there's nothing we can do. We're going to have to reassess our international amateur situation. Victor Pena, this guy, if he reaches his potential, he's going to be maybe the best hitter in the whole league. So, might never be a great fielder, but I'm going to give him a shot. 1.7 million seems like a bargain for that guy. Juan Matomo's pretty good shortstop. It says he has a pretty low asking price, 1.8 million. I think we're probably going to get caught in a bidding war for this guy. And it's not great having offers out for two guys. We'll probably get outbid for both of them and end up with nobody, unfortunately, but let's see. Maybe we get lucky. Olivar goes to Texas. And we are going to look at the offseason summary. Yeah, here, Pena wants the Mets are in on Pena, so we're not going to get him. So I think what we should do, I don't know if Matomos is a good enough player for me to really be proud of him being my only guy signed in the window. But we're definitely going to back off on obviously Marquine. And obviously Pena, and Matomos will be the only guy. He favors the offer, though, so we can't give him more money. So I guess we still have money to play with. Juan Navarrete strikes out a lot, but you know what? If we can afford him, I'm willing to take a chance. This guy really likes our organization. And let's just put him right up to the max then. And see if we get lucky. Navarrete has not signed yet. Marquine signs with the White Sox, and Matomo signs with us, so that's awesome. But we had a few players signed too. Yasmani Grandal and Jonah Heimer here to add catching depth. And Jason Adam has signed as well to add more velo to the bullpen and another guy that we can maybe trade at the deadline this year. Blake Walston has a lot of pitches, but he's a recent pickup, and I don't really think he's super crucial for the 40-man roster, so we'll put Jason Adam over him. Diego Cartaya is going to go for Yasmani Grandal. And I guess I'll put Yasmani Grandal on the MLB roster for now. But this is going to be a big spring training roster. I'm looking forward to seeing how these competitions for these spots play out. And I'm going to keep a very close eye on the stats, and even on the pitching side, but especially on the hitting side with some of these position battles. And Seattle goes over our heads for Navarrete. I think we're probably not going to... Yeah, well, I mean, we put him right up to the max, so I'm just going to withdraw because there's no way we're going to be able to do better than whatever Seattle said. And Ibarra. Let's go for a pitcher. I haven't even looked at pitchers. Let's try to find a pitcher. Alexis Mendez. This guy's not awful. He's pretty good already. I feel like he's kind of guaranteed to... He's durable. He's kind of guaranteed to develop, which is why I like him for $200,000. This guy's even better, though. Julio Batia. Only $250K. We can get a couple decent pitchers here for cheap. I still have $2.4 million. That's kind of crazy. So I guess we're doing a more spread the money around approach in international free agency this year. Not something that I usually find myself doing in these games. This guy's exceptional. 99 to 101 sidearm, and he wants $160K. That's a find, man. I feel like I'm playing Football Manager right now with these deals. Football Manager, you get like a world-class player for 150K. I don't even know if that can still happen in Football Manager. I haven't paid that much attention to Football Manager lately. People are really complaining about the new game, I've heard, even though they've really improved the graphics, though that's not surprising. The people that play Football Manager a lot play so much of that game. You know people aren't going to like changes. I mean, the graphics engine needs to look better, always needed to look better. But any change to like the basic game interface is going to be met with some backlash. I feel like that would happen in Out of the Park Baseball too. Out of the Park Baseball has barely changed in a long time. Navarrete signs with Seattle. I mean, we backed off on him. Victor Pena signs with Colorado. Shocking. And I want to hit it before spring training begins so that we can look at the off-season summary. I don't want to miss that. Being able to take a look at all the league signings. Let's do it now. We get all three of those minor league international amateurs, so awesome. So the international amateur phase actually goes pretty well for us. We get 4 players. And now we're going to take a look at all the big signings of the offseason. There's our 2-year contract with Patrick Sandoval. Zach Eflin goes to Houston. Matthew Boyd, 3 years to the Mets. See if that's a good signing for them. Not great velo, and he's 35. I'm not a huge fan. I'm going to try to click on player pages as little as possible, keep this as quick as possible. I don't know about 5 years for Tyler O'Neill for Kansas City. I saw they signed some other guys, too. Aroldis Chapman to the Dodgers. Raisel Iglesias to the Yankees. Evan Phillips to Boston for 3 years, $27 million. He must be performing very well. Jazz Chisholm with an 8-year. Yeah, he just won the MVP. That's right. He just coming off a 47 home run season. Yeah, he signs a 8-year deal with the Mets. We saw that. There's our 4-year deal with Taylor Ward. A lot of 1 years here. There's our deal with Yammer Candelario. Or did I see Salvador Perez to the Mets? Man, the Mets are really trying to win a championship, huh? They are really trying to win it all. They're going all out. J.P. Crawford to Boston, A.J. Puck to Atlanta for a year, Luis Robert back to the White Sox for 3 years. Is he ever not a White Sox? No, he just re-signs with the White Sox for 3 years. Alec Boehm to the Red Sox, 5 years, $17 million per. That sounds pretty realistic. I feel like Alec Boehm would be a Red Sox. Camilo Doval, who we looked at, he goes to the Cardinals for 3 years. That's right, remember that. Ha-Sung Kim to Detroit for 4 years. He was asking for a lot of money, I remember. It's that 7-year offer. Oh, Rod Molina to Kansas City. That's right. That's the big player that Kansas City signed. This new Cuban pitcher that the game generated, Rod Molina. We'll see. Doesn't really have a. I mean, yeah, his cutter would be his number one pitch, but with the 45 stuff, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Let's see how he performs. 7 years seems like a lot. 42 million per. That seems a little high for that pitcher, to be perfectly honest with you. Don't know if he's that good. Ian Happ, 3 years to L.A., that at L.A. being the Angels. Max Muncy, $32 million a year to the White Sox. Kind of crazy. White Sox spending some money. Saw them get Marroquin in international free agency as well. Everson Pereira gets a nice contract in Houston. And Michael King, a 5-year, $35 million per year offer from the Chicago Cubs. Crazy. Nobody picks Blake Walston. Nobody picks Cartaya. Nice. So we get to keep some of our depth. Really like to nobody picked Blake Walston. He could actually grow into something. I kind of believe in him with that pitch mix and spring training is about to start, so we're going to take a look at the minor league system and start doing some sorting. So we're going to put Walker Jenkins, Sandy Alcantara, and a few other players on the spring training roster here. How about Jose Leclerc? You know what? Why not? Let's try Ryan Presley as well. Major league experience. No, Ryan Darborough's not it. 88 miles an hour is not going to do it. Diego Cartaya for sure. JC Escara as well. Give us more backup catching options, not that we don't have plenty. Carlos Rodriguez with all that contact, absolutely. Emmanuel Valdez has a very real shot if he can hit to be an option as a backup infielder. Blake Walston, let's see how he can do. Maybe boost his development. Jonah Heim. So many guys want to bring up. Get a look here. Quentin Young. Yeah, none of the younger prospects are really ready for a look in Major League spring training, I don't think so. That'll be it for now. All right, let's sim spring training and see how some of these guys do. Whoa, and we got updates for all the training programs. Remember Valdez, still on the Astros. He's a big uptick in fastball velocity, apparently. Walker Jenkins improves his quality of contact, outstanding. Emmanuel Rodriguez, no improvement. Yes, Nixon Garcia, outstanding. What was the improvement to? Plate discipline. Riley Quick improves his control, outstanding. No improvement from Quentin Young at plate discipline or Frank Castillo at plate discipline. Devin Saltzman successful gap power, and Ronnie Mauricio successful plate discipline. That's very good to see. He is definitely going to be right in there in the infield conversation for a spot on the roster. I'm going to be paying very close attention to these player stats here in spring training. I'm not optimistic about our rotation at all. I think we can manage to build a good offense, but this rotation is probably going to be one of the weaker rotations in the entirety of Major League Baseball, if I had to guess. Sung-Chae Chang gets a severe hip strain, so he's going to go on the 15-day IL. That'll make picking the opening day infield a little easier. But it's unfortunate to see him go down. We're 8-8-2 right now. 9-9-2. Let's take a look at some stats. Isaac Collins hitting near 300. Brooks Lee up near 300. Patrick Sandoval's done well. Kumar Rocker's done well. Anthony Bender has done well. Matt Wallner, you'd love to see that at 133, right where he belongs, right where he always is. Ozzie Albies, big shot, hitting 120. That does not surprise me in the slightest, to be honest with you. He doesn't have the best hit tool. Let's see. Hold up. Split. Scope. Can I see MLB? Spring training. There we go. Jorge Barbosa is leading the team in batting average. I don't know if there's a spot for him on the roster, sadly, to be honest with you. Avimelec Ortiz, Carlos Rodriguez. Manuel Rodriguez is having a good time, but all the other guys who are leading the team in batting average, I would say there's not really a spot for on the roster. I think the outfield's pretty settled. But Luke Keishel's been bad. Candelario's been bad. A lot of guys have been struggling so far in spring training, but let's give them more time. It's just spring training. Let's go to the end of spring training. How many times can I say spring training in a 5-second window? Spring training. And that's the end of spring training. Brooks Lee, 311. Isaac Collins is at 250. Yes, Nixon Garcia at 304 with 4 bombs. Love to see it. Some pretty ghastly ERAs there in the rotation. Nick Mears does very well. Carlos Duran struggles. So let's decide who we're going to promote and Zemote. Zach Gallen, I mean, he's begging to get sent down in some way. We're paying him $9 million, but 22 ERA is rather ghastly. I think we can send down Zebby Matthews, and I'm going to be honest, I think he's just going to get lit up. I love him, but I think he's just going to get lit up. If we can send him down to AAA, let's do it. I feel like we have enough pitching depth to be able to do that. Sandy Alcantara can slide, and he had a great spring training. Luis Heel is also here. Dustin May, plenty of guys. Carlos Duran is going to get sent down. He might be 6'7", but he's not ready. Bender, Leclerc. Can Leclerc even? Yeah, he's on a minor league contract. He can go down. Kumar Rocker isn't going to get sent down. He should probably be in the rotation. Ryan Presley was in the minors all last year. He'll go back. And we're at 20 players, so I have at least 5 more players I have to send down. Andrew Morris can probably go to the minors, even though he had a 0 ERA in spring training. We have lefties covered. Did Josh Walker? Josh Walker was effective on the big club last year and had a good spring training. No reason for him to go down. Connor Prelip also was very competent at the major league level. David Festa, also a major league guy. Lots of guys who I have no reason to send down. Blake Walston. I think Blake Walston, he had a really good spring training, but he's just not ready for the majors. He can be on the 4. Oh, okay. I guess we have to clear. I guess we just have to waive in DFA is what they're saying. No, don't pull him back. He might get claimed. We'll see. It's sad, but I mean, he can't really be up in he doesn't really have the pitch mix to be up in the major league. He doesn't really have the arsenal to be up in the major leagues at this point. Mears and Bender can't go down, so this is just going to have to be process of elimination after some point. Will Warren, you're a good pitcher, but you struggled last year and you had an 8 ERA in spring training, so. And we can't send him down. All right. So it's just going to be a matter of who we can send down. So in that case, I don't even know. I feel this is a bit of a crunch here. Let me figure this out. So yeah, Quinn Priester, I'm not super confident in his ability to limit runs. AAA, nope, he's got to go on waivers. Interesting. Okay. Man, this is a struggle. I feel like Cam Schlittler is a little too good to go down. David Festa. There we go. There's somebody we could send to the minors. I imagine Connor Preliff can go to the minors as well, even though he might not deserve it. Yes, okay. Now we only have two more guys, or even one more guy we got to get rid of. And Sandy Alcantara just doesn't really have the pitches, so he's going to go to AAA as well. Let's see who it puts in the rotation. We do have to get rid of one more guy. I think we're going to do that in a trade. And the guy I'm thinking we trade out of the starting rotation is Quinn Priester. I think that maybe a package of Quinn Priester and there's actually not really another pitcher. Josh Steven isn't that good. Let's try Josh Steven. Let's do yeah, let's do Priester and Steven as a package deal and see if anybody wants that. Let's see. Nice. So there's lots of offers. Connor Burns any good? No. Good defensively. Kian Vu, that's kind of an interesting player. Man, look at Yordis Valdez. Great glove. Chet Williams. This kid is not bad, man. Great leadership attributes. Evan Olson's okay. But I like Ramirez. I don't know about Svakul. What about the Athletics are kind of a sleeper here? Because they have Gower, who's a decent infielder. Grauer, rather. Cameron Decker, who's an alright first baseman. And Suzak, who's a really good backup catcher. Who is our... What's up with our catching options? How'd they all do? Grandal did well. Escara did well. Amaya did okay. And Wells is still here. So you know what? It's not the end of the world at catcher. Yeah, I don't know if we need Daniel Suzak. I don't know how much that actually adds. So I'm going to go the safe route. We're replacing pitching. Let's replace pitching with pitching. I still like Jet Williams. I'll put him on the short list. I might even see what we can get for him. He's also a short king like Peyton Neals was, so we can replace that role in the team, the short king role, the all-important short king role. But I just want Emmett Olson and, more importantly, Luinder Avila. I like both these pitchers. I think we're going to try to do Ramirez, Olson, and Avila. Ramirez, Emmett Olson, and last but not least, Luinder Avila. And they are willing to take all three. This guy could be a starter. Good velocity, good basic pitch ratings, 4-pitch mix, 25 time to develop. This guy could just end up being a really solid overall guy. Obviously, pretty average ratings, but everything's green. And Emmett Olson, similarly, 3 pitches they can top out here. Finesse pitcher. Good stats in A-ball. 24, big stamina. We can put him in Double-A, see how he does. Not a bad return for Steven and Priester, who aren't going to perform at the major league level. And we clear 2 spots, I believe, off the 40-man with no consequence. So just 1. I don't mind Avila in Double-A, truth be told. Olson. I feel like Olson belongs in Double-A as well. I feel like they're all Double-A pitchers, to be honest. You know what? I feel like this guy actually can be in Triple-A because his pitches are more developed. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Sorting the roster. We're down at 14 pitchers now, which is what I wanted. As for the staff, they moved Cam Schlittler into the rotation and Kumar Rocker. So the starting rotation is going to be Patrick Sandoval, Will Warren, Zach Gallen, Kumar Rocker, and Cam Schlittler. When you consider that Zach Gallen had a 22 ERA and, well, it's only in 4 innings, but that's still pretty miserable. I'm not really that confident in this pitching rotation. He had a 6 ERA last year. Definitely a guy that we're trying to flip for some value if he has a decent season. So I'm not terribly optimistic about this pitching rotation, so it's important to have that 8-man bullpen, have a little more depth in terms of the bullpen. It's honestly a bullpen that I don't hate. I think there's some decent arms in it. Dustin May and Luis Heel are going to be called upon for a lot of important length I think they're going to be two of the most important players in this team in terms of patching up the holes on this pitching staff when things get rough for the starting rotation, which they're going to pretty regularly. Now let's talk about this offense. Looking at catchers a minute ago, they didn't really give Jonah Heim any looks, so he'll go to AAA. JC Escara made a good case for himself. Diego Cartaya is definitely going to get sent down. You know what? We're just going to trade him if we can't send him down for more prospects. The rebuild continues. Nobody wants Diego Cartaya for prospects. That's a little depressing. Maybe if we retain all his money? Huh. I guess Diego Cartaya just not really respected like that around the league, so that's sad. We'll just waive and DFA him then. We're not pulling back. Don't really mind Diego Cartaya. Didn't put up a good performance in spring training, though. I think it's going to be Grandal and Wells. I don't really think there's much we can do about that. Miguel Amaya doesn't really deserve to be off the roster, but it is what it is. Hopefully he can go down to AAA, be a very strong AAA catcher. Now, Miguel Amaya is somebody that I do believe we can probably get somebody for. JC Escara, can you go to AAA? He can. Okay, good. So we're going to have a solid AAA catcher and a solid third string guy, which is important because I think Miguel Amaya is going to go, even though I don't want to trade him. The Padres want him. Oof, man. This guy's got a hose on him. Miguel Mendez. Wow, 80 grade fastball potential with a 75 slider and a pretty good changeup to boot. Okay. And Alex Ramirez, a power hitting gold glove, almost level center fielder. I will take both of them, Alex Ramirez and Miguel Mendez. Welcome to the Minnesota Twins for Miguel Amaya. That is not a bad piece of business right there. Fans don't like dealing Amaya. Ramirez is going to sit there in AAA. Hopefully he develops well. And Mendez also a AAA arm. So we add more excellent players to our minor league system. And things are looking up, man. I was looking at our minor league system yesterday, and I was just like, man, this team is better than this minor league system is at least better than I thought it would be by this point in the rebuild. We've certainly done some work to add to it. And it's starting to reflect in our minor league teams, and our minor league teams are looking a lot better. We'll take a look at them in a minute. Or rather, probably at the start of the next episode, because that's when we're going to actually start the season. We're coming up to the end of episode 5 right here. Prado did all right, but certainly not enough to earn a roster spot. Valdez hit 0-0-0. He needs more time to develop in AAA. I think we already knew that. Plenty of other options. Eddie Leonard is a good pick, but Ronnie Mauricio, I think, is the more interesting player. Although Leonard can play a lot of positions, but he's got options and didn't blow anybody away. Candelario obviously is going to stay on the roster for now, even though he didn't have a terribly strong spring training. Carlos Rodriguez had a good spring training, but he didn't really make a strong enough case for himself to be that fourth outfielder. We've got 18 guys still, and we need to cut all the way down to 12. So it's going to be pretty crazy. I don't even really know how we're going to do that. Jorge Barrosa had the strongest preseason of any outfielder on the team, but he's going to go out on AAA because this is an absolute roster crunch. I'd say Luke Keishel and Rodriguez are essential, so obviously Abimelec Ortiz, who had a really strong spring training, unfortunately going to have to go down. Alejandro Osuna also had an excellent spring training. I think we might. Ortiz wasn't that good in the regular season. You know what? I'm going to move Ortiz to AAA. You guys might not like that because of the eye, but I think Ozuna did a good enough job to earn himself that shot. And Ozzy Albies definitely didn't, to be honest with you. I signed him for depth, but we've got Ronnie Mauricio. I don't know how many infielders is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you only really need one backup infielder. It's one too many. Collins wasn't bad. It's just a question of, do I really want Ronnie Mauricio starting at second base? Because right now that's what he would be doing. Man, you're telling me we have to cut 3 of these guys. I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty brutal for Ozuna getting cut over Jock Peterson, but he could use a little more time in AAA to work out that power and that eye, which we already have. Let's put him really spec into power and eye. And I don't know about really trading Albies that soon, but I mean, look, he's not gonna hit. Let's be real, he's not gonna hit, and we can't demote him to AAA. Okay, cool. So we can just do that, and I don't mind this hitting core. You could argue it doesn't feel different enough from last year. They've got Grandal starting over Wells, which I'm not super in love with. Um, but you know what? We'll see. We'll see how it works out. But the real headline, of course, is going to be Walker Jenkins. It's going to be Nixon Garcia. We've added the power of Taylor Ward at DH. See how Ronnie Mauricio does. And it's a very fluid infield situation. We have a lot of depth in the infield to bring up if we're unsatisfied with infield performance. The Wells versus Grandal question as well. And then Pasquantino. See how much of a revelation he can be as a power hitter. And they've got Luke Keeschel in at second base, which I really don't mind. And that should be a 26-man roster. It says 27. I don't know who's extra here. Oh, it is 27. That's right. So there's one extra guy. We really don't have the starting pitching. I really feel like it can't be 13-13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't really want to get rid of Candelario. I feel like he's a useful player on the roster. I'm just going to send a pitcher down and let's have it be kind of fluid. Can Danny Colomb go down? He only throws 90 miles an hour. No, okay. That is the guy I would send down. We already have Josh Walker as a lefty. Sending Nick Mears down, we really can't do. I really can't talk myself into sending any of these guys down. I guess Josh Walker, but I'd rather have the bullpen depth than Yeimer Candelario. Truth be told, it sucks. He has to clear waivers. All right, this is tough. Let me make my mind up. Because I'm not sending down Mauricio. I want to give him the shot. And while we're at it, I want to tell him to steal bases and base run a little more aggressively. We can do some other strategizing here in a minute. But I don't want to get rid of Jock. Jock brings pop. Jock is the backup outfielder. Do we have first base backed up beyond Candelario? We do, but not really with any. Yeah, Austin Wells could for sure get some ABs there. Yeah, I really don't mind getting rid of Candelario. Let's just waive and DFA him. Maybe he gets picked up. It'll be interesting to see. He'll be one of the stronger players on waivers. It won't surprise me. But that's a 26-man roster now. It's a really tight squeeze when you're really trying to pack an organization with talent. And we still have Chang coming back as well, too. That'll be a relaxing day when we get Chang back, man. I'm looking forward to that. All right, let's send to opening day. It'll be exciting to see who's on waivers. There's already somebody good on waivers on opening day. And we can check out the preseason predictions. We finished 11, 14, and 3 in the preseason. We're expected to try to stay close to an even record. I really don't know about that. Luis Shadowball Silva, the number 8 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. Already. Does that say he's a 2-star already at 18? Yeah, and he's already up in rookie ball. He could probably pitch in single A. How good of a pitcher would he be in A ball? He'd be a 2.5-star in A ball. Let's keep an eye on him. But that is for sure the crown jewel of our farm system right now. Minnesota, let's see. So our top prospects are Nixon Garcia, Quentin Young, who I'm definitely keeping a close eye on. See, how Quentin Young develops is going to be a really good litmus test of our just ability to develop talent in general. Walker Jenkins looking good, of course. Maybe not quite ready, though. Just by the naked eye test, he might not quite be ready for the big show. And in terms of pitchers, we have Jason DeCaro in rookie ball. This guy seems genuinely ready for single A. I think I'm going to put DeCaro in single A so he can get a full season of work. First round pick from last year. Tired of having to resort this. Riley Quick, also a top 100. Is he still an A ball? He should probably be in double A at least. Huh. Yeah, we can put him in double A, and if he struggles, we'll put him in high A. So those are our top prospects for this year. And much more importantly, let's take a look at the preseason predictions. I'm very curious as to where we're going to end up. Probably not good. Yeah, we're projected to go 65 and 97 with a 5.02 team ERA. I say that's about right. 605 walks is also projected to lead the league. So for all of my attempts to maximize or rather minimize walks by this pitching staff, it seems to all have been for naught up until now. Some interesting guys in the top 10 showing the changing face of the American League, especially. Roman Anthony, Junior Caminero, Colt Keith, Wyatt Langford, Nick Kurtz, Riley Green, all in the top 10. Some unsurprising news. Ray Molina, though, the new guy here. Framber Valdez, who had that uptick in velocity. But Brian Wu, Chris Bubich, also on the Yankees. Really interesting, the top pitchers. Drake Skubal, though, it's not surprising at all. Expect to see Paul Skeens here on the list here in the National League. There he is. Reynaldo Lopez, interestingly enough. Christopher Sanchez getting his flowers. Chris Sale still up there. Acuna, Freeman, Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, unsurprisingly the big guys in the National League. Pete Crow Armstrong and Ramon Laureano, interestingly, had 40 home runs last year. You don't see Jazz Chisholm here anywhere, though, after that 48 home run season. So the Yankees are projected to win the East. The Tigers are projected to win the Central in an absolute landslide by 18 games over the Cleveland Guardians, who are projected to finish 29 games out in last place. So, though, they're giving us the courtesy of 711 runs and 190 home runs with 122 stolen bases, which isn't bad. We're projected to give up 857 runs, which is far more than it looks like anybody else in the entire major leagues. Oh, yeah, nobody else even projected. The Marlins at exactly 800. But we're well over that. Well over 850, a 5.02 team ERA, as I said. So it's not sunny. Not a sunny prediction here. Mariners, top of the West. Mets projected to finish top the East. Brewers, the best team in the league, projected to be 99 wins. And the Dodgers and Padres can't make out the difference in the NL West. Brewers team looks similar to the real one. Really nasty rotation, though. You can see where they're projected to win 99 games. Nathan Eovaldi, Luis Garcia, Jacob Mizorowski, Brandon Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta with what looks like a pretty significant nightmare of a bullpen here with Abner Uribe, Trevor McGill, and probably pretty old Kenley Jansen, but Kenley Jansen nonetheless. And let's take a look at waivers. This is probably one of the last things we're going to do in this whole episode. There's a lot of guys available. We might be taking somebody here. That's just first baseman. Let's look at everybody. And Emmett Sheehan, who you can see I shortlisted, is on the waiver wire. And that is probably going to be a pickup for me. I will not mind trading out one of my relievers to sub in the lanky flamethrower Emmett Sheehan of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Brandon Pfaadt is definitely our kind of pitcher. Not a good ERA guy, but excels in definitely certain analytics. Had a positive WAR. 5 pitches, excellent control, definitely limits walks. Probably will give up the long ball. I can't lie, I think I'm going to claim him just for depth. We need depth, and we need guys that throw the ball hard and throw the ball over the plate. That's the game plan. Everybody, well, let's try to take a look at a starter. See if there's really somebody who's a true starter. Well, I mean, Pfaadt is the only guy here that fits that definition. Jacob Lopez is really going to get bombed on because he's a side armor, but he doesn't have the velocity. 91, 93, I feel like he's really going to give up home runs. Bowden Francis, I mean, none of the guys have movement, really. Tobias Myers is like almost there, but the stuff is lacking. Matt Cantorino, no. Okay. So let's go to all batters. Hell yeah. All right, there's a lot of guys here. You could build a whole team. You could build a team off the guys on waivers right now. This is kind of nuts. Cal Stevenson, pretty good eye in the outfield. Owen Miller, good contact bat. Luisangel Acuna really struggled with the bat in the major leagues. He needs to be down in AAA. That's the reason he's on waivers. They're trying to send him down, and he definitely needs to be in AAA. Luis Campusano. Interesting. Tireless worker as well. That is an interesting catching option. I think I probably like him a little more than Austin Wells at this point. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Austin Wells over Kempuaso. Kempuaso also can't run the bases a bit. So yeah, there's a lot of talented players on the waiver wire on the offensive side of the ball, but we had such a tough time picking our guys anyway off of our regular roster. Most of the best guys, as would probably be expected, are corner outfielders. And there's nobody who really seems to be like a unique talent other than like Michael Ciani, who is just a liability with the bat. Victor Mesa. There's not really a guy here where I'm chomping at the bit to add him to the team. So despite there being some good guys on waivers, we're not going to take anybody except for those pitchers. But man, oh man, if there's anything to improve, you know it's the pitching. It's not the hitting. The hitting has some projectability. I'm not projecting anything for this pitching, just like the experts aren't. And Candelaria refuses to be demoted, so this is going to be a quick end to the marriage here. Let's try to retain 30%. See if we get any takers. He can hit a little bit. All right, the Yankees want him for, wow, this guy's really not bad. Huh. Let's see what we can get if we retain a little more. Let's go up to 75. See if more teams want him. No, it's just the Yankees. All right, let's go up to 100. I might even throw in veterans here. Yeah, let's throw in veterans, see if anybody wants anything else. I'll take that pitcher from the Yankees, but like, okay. Interesting. Rowdy Tellez, Max Kepler, Manuel Margot, Dylan Carlson. No, I'm all right. Ronnie Garcia, Sean Boyle, Thomas the Spooky, Joe Kunal. All right, let's go with that Yankees prospect. All the veterans are just kind of meh. So let's go with this guy. It might not be an even trade, but it is what it is. He doesn't want to be on the roster. Yammer Candelario is definitely a better player than Ocean Gabonia, but it is what it is, bro. You got to make the deal you got to make. And he can't even play for Cedar Rapids, so I guess he's going to be in Double A. He might struggle in Double A even, but it is what it is, man. We definitely have some spots on the 40 though. If anybody comes in on waivers, we're gonna have no problem adding him to the roster. I don't think. What did it say? We have non-roster invitees on our active roster. Who would that be? Who would that be? Ronnie Mauricio, I think. Mauricio in Colombia, it looks like. Huh. Interesting. Well, let's just Colombia. Heal. So it's not the plus. Wait. Oh, it's somebody who doesn't have a star next to them. Walker Jenkins. There we go. Nice. So Walker Jenkins on the 40. Should have happened already. Okay, that was it. It was just Walker Jenkins. Okay, cool. Brandon Pfaadt and Emmett Sheehan are claimed off waivers. Emmett Sheehan is definitely going to go right up to the big club. And I think we're going to trade. Dustin May had a really good spring training, man. Anthony Bender might low-key be our best reliever. Nick Mears was our best reliever last year. You know what? I'm not a big believer in Nick Mears, and he's only got 1 year left. So I think Nick Mears is going to be the guy to go, and I think we can probably trade him for prospects and get something good back. If the secret is out on him at all that he's not a bad pitcher. Okay, the secret is not out on him at all. Nobody has any idea. Sigh. All right, retain 100%. Completely insulting. None of the scouts in the league are doing their job. If none of the scouts in the league know how good Nick Mears is, none of them are doing their job. Like, I'm not about to just send this man down to the minor leagues after all. That's it. A bunch of bad players. Literally, that's all we got offered. A bunch of bad players. Can he go to AAA? No. All right. Wow. Okay. Let's try Josh Walker. He's pretty good. He's also underrated, but he might be somebody that has little value. And he honestly is a worse pitcher than Nick Mears. It's all pain. It's all just pain and agony, man. I guess retain 100%, see whatever we can get. This is depressing. I don't know why. I get that relievers have low value, but this is crazy. Edward Julian. That's it. Just get one of our old players back. All right, great. University of New Haven legend. All right, you're just going to go to the AAA. That was easier than I thought it would be. Emmett Sheehan, get on the roster. Bang. All right, cool. Let's go to opening day at the St. Louis Cardinals. You know what? Let's play this, baby. Let's play the first game of the season for the entertainment of all of y'all. Matthew Liberatore is going to be the opening day starter. Are the Cardinals as bad as that? Like, are they really that bad? Matthew Liberatore is their opening day starter. That is, wow, this is a rough pitching rotation. I think we might have company for the worst rotation in the league. This is a pretty dreadful baseball team, it looks like. Derek Hill. When was the last you heard of Derek Hill being an opening day starter? Derek Hill? I don't think he's ever been. He's been a backup for his whole career, and they're like, yep, hit him lead off. Derek Hill, Brendan Donovan, your 3-hitter is Ivan Herrera, which sadly I think that was the case for the Cardinals a lot of this year. Cody Bellinger, Nolan Gorman, Mason Wynn, Jesus Sanchez, 35-year-old Nolan Arenado, and then J.J. Weatherholt. Wait, J.J. Weatherholt, not a bad player. I thought he was a catcher. I was about to be really impressed. He's a middle infielder, so he's not. That's not as impressive, but still. And it's just a brutal pitching rotation, though, of Liberatore, Kolek, Matthew Liberatore, Stephen Kolek, Kyle Lehey, DJ Hurries, and Thomas Zapuki. That is god-awful. Wow. All right, so it's going to be two of the more pitching-bereft teams in the league here facing off to start the 2027 season. Let's do it, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this offense at work. I think we have a pretty good offense. It's got to be Luke Keeschel, Yos Nixon Garcia in left, Isaac Collins at third base hitting third, which is interesting. Taylor Ward in the 4-hole, Vinny Pasquantino at fifth, Yasmani Grandal sixth, Matt Wallner seventh, Brooks Lee at eighth, and Walker Jenkins in the 9-hole for his major league debut. And I'm not really sure about Isaac Collins at third. They did that a lot last year. I don't really like it. I'd rather have Pasquantino hit third or Taylor Ward, to be honest with you. But let's see. We got some pop in this lineup. We can hit some bombs. First half inning, we get a run. It's a leadoff solo home run for Luke Keeschel. What a way to start the season. Half inning, we give up a hit, but they don't score. Ooh, and 2 runs from the Cardinals. It's a double from Bellinger. Mason Wynn grounds him to third. Gorman hits him in with a single. Gorman moves to second on an Arenado walk, and Weatherholt drives him in with an RBI single to make it 2-1 Cardinals. Can we strike back? Walker Jenkins, his first Major League at-bat. Let's watch this one. And he takes a walk. And let's sim the rest of the half inning. And we tie the game. I'm going to assume Jenkins scored. Hey, yeah, it's an RBI double for Luke Keeschel down the line, and Keeschel scores from first and ties this game at 2 apiece. Let's see if Patrick Sandoval can continue his start effectively. Does not give up a run in the third. We don't score in the top of the fourth. Sandoval on 59 pitches heading into the fourth. Gives up a hit, but otherwise unscathed. Liberatore on 67 pitches heading into the fifth. It's Walker Jenkins again. We'll watch his at-bat. The 0-1 pitch lofted out to right field, and that's into the glove of Cody Bellinger. We get a hit, nothing more, and we're going to go batter by batter here with Sandoval in the fifth. Fly out for the first out of the fifth inning. J.J. Weatherholt, the young second baseman, stepping in. Struck him out. Sandoval looking good so far. Starting to be a little wary. Ground ball to first base. And that's going to do it. It'll be an interesting question of when we go to the bullpen. go batter by batter in this inning as well because I'm going to want to warm somebody up once there's 2 outs just to get the timing right. There's 2 outs very quickly, a strikeout and a ground out. And who do we want to get up in this bullpen? It's going to be the 6th inning if we put him in. I think that sounds like Anthony Bender territory. We'll go Bender, Adam, Braden Fisher, and then Bautista. So you've got 4 pretty good relievers in there. Grandal pops out to left field to end the frame. And Sandoval is going to enter the 7th inning, or the bottom of the 6th inning, with 1 man warming in the bullpen. Brendan Donovan as the rain starts to fall here on opening day in St. Louis. And it's a leadoff walk. You don't like that. Go to double play depth. We'll pitch to Herrera, 3-2. That ball's driven to right. Oof. Donovan broke off the base. I thought that was going to be trouble. And up comes Bellinger. Sandoval is a lefty. 89 pitches. The guy we have up in the bullpen is most certainly not a lefty, so we're going to go to Bellinger. And that ball's a single. And that's going to do it for Patrick Sandoval. Not a bad performance. But he leaves with uncertain circumstances here in the 6th inning as Anthony Bender is going to try to rescue us here. First pitch from Bender to Mason Wynn. Ground ball to third base. Wynn can run. We get the out at first, though. And it's 2nd and 3rd to Nolan Gorman. I don't know about putting Gorman on to face Walker. I'd say we pitch around him for lefty-righty reasons. And we strike him out. Trying to pitch around. It's a good piece of strategy right there. Did not want to face that righty-lefty matchup. So we play careful. Matt Wallner strikes out. Stop the presses. Anthony Bender's only on 5 pitches, so we can watch him. Let's 7.5 inning. Nothing happens. So let's keep an eye on Anthony Bender. And let's do Braden Fisher first. 3-1 pitch. Don't like that at all. Oop, it's a ground out, maybe. Let's see, can they make the play? No, he's safe at first. Frustrating. Infield single. That's how the most frustrating rallies always seem to start. Struck him out. Good strikeout there of Arenado. 1 out. The 0-1 pitch. Driven to left. Caught. Beautifully done. 3-1 pitch. Walk. And now we're going to take out Bender. I think we may have left him in 1 batter too many there. Brendan Donovan on the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3. Great strikeout there by Braden Fisher. Overcomes the control issues and gets it done. Keishel coming up to lead off the 8th inning. Keishel grounds to 3rd. Arenado makes the play. Here's Nixon Garcia. First time we've seen him hit. Line drive. Base hit into the gap. The Ghost. Yost the Ghost. In with a double. Yosty the Ghosty. Isaac Collins now. And it's a rain delay. A 48-minute rain delay. Let's see. So that's definitely going to affect the pitching situation. Not that we weren't already. It seems like everybody is warmed up. That's interesting. Anyway, let's bat. We're not pitching right now. We don't have to worry about who the pitcher is. And it's a walk. 1st and 2nd. 1st and 2nd for Taylor Ward. Here we go. Time to earn that contract, Taylor. We're going to warm up Jason Adam. Can Taylor Ward, can our new signing give us the lead? 3-2 pitch, and he strikes out on a fastball right down the middle. And it's time for our other new signing, Vinny Pasquantino. Can we produce when it matters? Fly ball, right field, Bellinger is there, and he puts it away, and it's nothing for the Twins in the top of the 8th inning. And they're going to go to Jason Adam here to get these 3 outs and try to give themselves another shot. Line drive right to third. Snared there by Collins. 2-strike pitch to Bellinger. Struck him out on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch. Painted a fastball. Mason Wynn. First pitch to Wynn. Always a free swinger. Pops it up. Out to second base. Out to Keishel. And that will end the 8th inning. And it's going to be another chance for the Minnesota Twins to take the lead here. Leading off, it's Yasmani Grandal, who will be pinch hit for if he walks. And he walks. Pinch ran for, rather. Rocket wheels Yasmani Grandal. And Ronnie Mauricio is going to take over for him on the base pads. And we're going to... What? Oh, I pinch hit him by accident. Dude, I'm stupid. I hate this game sometimes. I did the wrong one. Who was even hitting? Wallner? Wow, that's stupid. All right, fine. I'll empty the bench then. Hold on, wait. Oh, I can't. I guess Jock Peterson can pinch run. Whatever. That sucks. Now Ronnie Mauricio is hitting. Here, you know what we're going to do? We're going to bunt then. If I accidentally pinch hit Ronnie Mauricio, we're just going to bunt the guy over to second. Miss. This has all gone horribly wrong. There we go. Okay. Hey, made an error. It all works out. Mauricio to second base. Peterson to third. And I totally meant to do that. I totally meant to pinch hit Ronnie Mauricio for Matt Wallner. That was totally intentional. I totally meant to pinch run Jock Peterson at first base. It all works out. Brooks Lee up with second and third and nobody out. Aggressively swinging. Puts one in the gap. Our most productive offensive player from last season doing it again. Driving in a pair, and it's a 4-2 lead for the Minnesota Twins. Making it a sad, drab, rainy opening day in St. Louis. Making them sit through a rain delay and a loss. You love to see it. Quiet that half-empty crowd. It's a drab mood here. At Busch Stadium. It's popped up to shortstop. Yes, Nixon Garcia. Can he add another hit to his performance? Just snagged there by Wynn. One of the better fielders in the game, where it would have been a 3-hit performance there for Yes, Nixon Garcia. And I forgot to warm up my closer. And Jock Peterson is lined up to play catcher. All right, so Jock Peterson is going to come in and catch. And the other position we replaced appears to be right field. Ronnie Mauricio cannot play right field. So let's work this out. Luke Keishel, I think, can definitely play right field. Okay, so Luke Keishel will go to right field. And Ronnie Mauricio will play second. And Jason Adam is only on 7 pitches. So it's not a big deal. We can warm up Felix Bautista. And Jason Adam just has to face one hitter. And then we can go visit the mound. And probably bring Bautista in like that. It's a fly ball out to center. Walker Jenkins puts it away. Strike 3 to Sanchez. And let's visit the mound. Change the pitcher. Let's just put in Bautista and get him a save, because I want him credited with the save. Brandon Belt, who is very much retired and should not be on this team, grounds out to second base. And that's going to end the game. It's a 4-2 win for your Minnesota Twins on a very fortunate fielding error. Let's be real, by the St. Louis Cardinals there in the top of the 9th inning. But you know what? We take those. Not a sterling offensive performance, but you know what? Lee with that big hit. Yost Nixon Garcia looked fantastic. Luke Keishel not bad either. Grandal pitching in with a hit. And you got to love the gritty effort from Patrick Sandoval and a fantastic effort from this bullpen. If they can pitch like that all year, you'd love to see it. So that'll do it for episode 5 here, Out of the Park Baseball. Stay tuned. We're going to sim this season 2 here on the next episode. Like and subscribe for way more Out of the Park Baseball content. Going to be coming at you with the New York Rangers franchise hockey manager playthrough here very, very soon. And as always, I keep promising to get back to Boxing Manager. Just haven't found the time yet. Thanks for all the support, guys. It really does mean the world to me. Like and subscribe and keep on coming back.